Welcome to what could be a very interesting video on who really were the Trojans. Let's first introduce the video. Now, this story with ancient Troy and the famous city of Troy, for a long time was just considered a myth or a legend, but that was until, we're told they discovered the real site of Troy, and then scholars started to take it more seriously. Could there be some truth to these myths and these legends? And we're looking here in this region. We have the modern day country of Turkey. Let's go to a different map so we can get a better feel for the geography. So the two modern day countries of Turkey and Greece. This is where we're told the setting would be for this ancient story between, well, the ancient war between the Greeks and the Trojans. These myths and these legends. But is there truth to the story? But what we want to know is who really were the Trojans? And all we're going to do is look to see what the information is saying. Where does the information take us? So let's see what we discover. We have introduced this character already, Dardanos, the son of Zeus, and Dardanos was the founder of the Trojan royal line. So you could say Dardanians, but then later they became known as Trojans, named after a future descendant of Dardanos. I want to focus in on this information here. This could be important. Very interesting. Now, this Greek historian states that Dardanos' original home was in Arcadia, where Dardanos and his elder brother Iasus reigned as kings following Atlas. So this very interesting information here, saying that Dardanos ruled after Atlas. So let's just recap what have we learned about Atlas. Now, Atlas is famous in the mythology and is connected obviously to the Atlas mountain range in North Africa, but then also to these words like the Atlantic Ocean, because Atlas was the first ruler of Atlantis. So another myth or legend, the famous civilization of Atlantis. And we also learned that Atlas was king of the Maori, or king of Mauritania. And I just want to make you could say a correction or a clarification to a previous video when we were speaking about the kingdom of Mauritania in North Africa, and we said that we mustn't confuse it with the modern day country of Mauritania. So I was kind of following the narrative that we're given, but one of our viewers did remind me about the Rickard structure with Mauritania. So if you don't know about this, it could actually be a part of all this picture that we're trying to work on. So we have this really amazing structure called the Rickard structure, and this is actually in this this region of the modern day country of Mauritania, and very interesting information coming out with scholars connecting this to the civilization of Atlantis. And could this really be connected with Atlantis? So if you don't know about that, maybe look at the channel Bright Insight on YouTube, doing very amazing videos. So this region of Mauritania, the modern day country, is this also connected with the kingdom of Atlas and the Maori and the Mauritania? So was it a very large kingdom? So just a bit of a clarification that, maybe I shouldn't have just tried to follow the narrative on those details. But let's get back to the Trojans. So very interesting that we got this first bit of information. So just to look at that again, because this might be new to many of you out there, that the founder of the Trojan royal line ruled after Atlas. But what information do we have about Atlas? It brings us to this region of North Africa and Western Africa. So is this where Dardanos, the founder of the Trojans, was ruling? So already we have something different, coming out with this information. It gives us something different to consider that we probably, weren't aware of. But let's keep going to see, what else we can discover. Now, I'm going to come at this at maybe a bit of a different angle that maybe you're not expecting, to try and learn more about the Trojans. We're going to look at who were their allies. Who were the allies in this Trojan war? Now, it tells us many tribes were the allies of the Trojans in this war. But it's very interesting how the Ethiopians are left till last. So we've got all these tribes that were their allies, and then we have this addition of the Ethiopians at the end. So if you haven't been following the channel and you may be new to this information, let's just go back to the map. Now, remember we said about this region between Turkey and Greece, that this is supposed to be the setting for this war between the Greeks and the Trojans. Now, if you just look at that, why is Ethiopia involved in this conflict? On the face of it, that doesn't make sense. It's supposed to be a conflict between the Greeks and the Trojans. How would Ethiopia be involved in all this? So that seems a bit of a strange element when we, if you're new to this, but obviously that won't be new to the people who are following the channel. So how do we make sense of this connection with Ethiopia? And is Ethiopia even connected to this Trojan story? So there is a character in the mythology for this Trojan War called Memnon. And Memnon was the king of Ethiopia. And we see here a vase depicting Memnon, king of Ethiopia. So it's actually quite a famous character in the Trojan War, but it doesn't get as much publicity, let's say. So if there's movies being made, you might not even know that there was this really important character called Memnon, the king of Ethiopia. And we actually learn that if we just read this part, it speaks about Memnon coming with a large army of Indians and Ethiopians, a truly remarkable army which consisted of thousands and thousands of men with various kinds of arms, and surpassed the hopes and prayers even of Priam. So Priam, king of Troy, is hoping and praying for Memnon, the king of Ethiopia, to come with his army to save Troy. So this, you probably, if you enjoy history and you like, learning about the myths and the legends and the Greek history and the Greek mythology, I think a lot of people might not even know about this part of the Trojan War saga. That the Trojans were actually relying and hoping for, the king of Ethiopia to save them. So now we can see that one of these allies, which is the Ethiopians, is not a small part of the story, because the Trojans are actually relying or hoping that the Ethiopians are coming to the rescue. So how big a part of the story are the Ethiopians? And we'll try to keep going to see what we can discover about this importance of Ethiopia. Now, I need to just go over something again, so this won't be new to those of you who follow the channel, but it's obviously important that people that are new to this also are aware of this theory. So bringing forward the theory, could the Greek god Zeus really be the biblical Kush? So Kush being connected with Ethiopia. And then would this actually start to make more sense? Why we have this connection with Ethiopia? Now we have been bringing forward details to try strengthen this connection with the Greek god Zeus and the biblical Kush. And I just want to bring a different one forward that we haven't spoken of in a while, so you can see this. So we have another famous son of Zeus called Dionysus, and this could mean son of Zeus. But then we look at what the Romans called him, we see he was called Bacchus. So I'm not a linguist, so I can't say for sure, but just as an amateur, you can see, the potential here, that you have Dionysus, so the Greek god, so it could mean son of Zeus, but then the Romans call him Bacchus. So does Bacchus mean son of Kush? So then you can see how that could be connected to, the biblical character of Kush. So I think we just have to do a quick recap. So the founder of the Trojan royal line, Dardanos, son of Zeus, could actually be saying son of Kush. So that would be a major, it's obviously going to be very difficult for people to maybe accept or to process, but that's what we could be saying, that the Trojan royal line could be coming from Kush. And we know in the Bible that Kush is also connected with this word Ethiopia. So then we see this there would be some kind of connection with Ethiopia, but is it more than just the connection? How important is Ethiopia in all this history and story? And then when we look at the information, and that's all we're doing, looking at the information, we can see that the Ethiopians are a part of the Trojan war saga. But then when we look at Memnon, this king of Ethiopia, who's also a part of this, we see that Ethiopia could be playing a really important role, because the Trojans are actually waiting for the Ethiopians to come to the rescue. So yeah, very different from, it kind of gives you a different feeling or a different perspective than maybe if you watch some of the movies. So yeah, very interesting. And then also Memnon, if we just keep trying to learn about Memnon, Memnon was a son of Dardanos. And when we go to the page on Dardanos, we can see that he's a prince of Troy. So if Dardanos is a prince of Troy, and Memnon is a son of Dardanos, that would make Memnon a part of the Trojan royal line, a part of that family. So we can see how Ethiopia is connected in this in a large way, because Memnon, king of Ethiopia, is actually a part of the Trojan royal family. And then we're looking at the founder of the Trojan royal family, saying, could he actually be a son of Kush? We're just starting to learn that maybe Kush in Ethiopia is playing a major role in this mythology and the story. So I hope you found this video interesting so far. We've just got one more thing to consider, because we want to try to be fair with this study and this looking to see where the information takes us. So I just want to go back to this detail here where it says that Dardanos' original home was in Arcadia. Now Arcadia is a region of ancient Greece. So then it's saying that Dardanos' original home was a region of ancient Greece. So then we might be thinking, well, isn't that bringing us to this region here? So that would be a bit of information we would think that's bringing us to where we been told to look. But I just want to show you something that could be quite important with this. So a region of ancient Arcadia, there was a region called Azania. So a region of ancient Greece called Azania, or a region of ancient Arcadia. And this could be coming from the mythical king Azan. So Azan, king of Azania. But then when we look for Azania and try to learn about it, we actually see there was a region called Azania, near to, we could say, Ethiopia or Somaliland. So here we see Azania on the map. So what is the true story here? Because it's saying that Dardanos came from Arcadia, so a region of ancient Greece. And when we look for a region of Arcadia called Azania, it brings us here to Ethiopia. So it just seems that the information, when you look at it, keeps drawing you back towards these regions, like Ethiopia, or we could say Kush. So then what do we make about this? Because if Azania is a region of ancient Arcadia, and Arcadia is a part of ancient Greece, does that mean this is a part of ancient Greece, this region? Or could we consider maybe that this could be the origin of the ancient Greeks, and then they bring in these names with them when they go into new regions? So you could look at it in a few different ways, but either way, it still shows this region of Ethiopia or Somaliland being connected to the ancient Greeks. So that still needs to be explained and explored. So I hope you hope it wasn't too much for you if you've just come across this come across our channel with watching this video. Maybe this is all very new to you, so it might be a bit of a shock, but we're just looking at the information. Hopefully I've just showed you that I've done it in a fair way, and when you're looking for the truth, you can't always be sure where it's going to take you and what it's going to look like. But I think we've learned a lot more in this video about who these Trojans really could be. So now we're seeing this connection with Ethiopia and Kush, very strong connection. But where was where were these stories taking place? Because now we see also Atlas being connected in the story. So another part of the mythology with Atlas and Atlantis. And we do have lots of information that's coming out, very interesting information about where could Atlantis really have been. And it could have been in Western Africa, in Mauritania. So yeah, really amazing all the information that's coming out. and it could all be important and all be connected, even Atlantis and with the Trojans. So this is going to have to be an ongoing investigation, so we'll have to keep going. I think in the next part I would like to speak a bit more about the Phoenicians before we go on to another element of this trying to understand North Africa and the Berbers. Maybe one more video on the Phoenicians and if it's connected with the Trojans as well. So thank you for watching this one. Let me know if you have any feedback or any thoughts about this that you would like to share in the comments below, and then we'll see you in the next video.